Hey drummers, hope you're well. Sam from Durham Drums here. I'm going to talk to you about drumsticks today. There's loads of different things to know. What does the number mean? What do the letters mean? What are the different tips you can get? By the end of the video, there's going to be 3 tips on when I think it's time to retire those sticks, to let those sticks be at peace. No more drumming for those sticks, okay? These are rules that I use to decide when to invest in new sticks. Enjoy the video, let's get started. So the first thing to talk about is that there's 4 parts to a stick. We've got the tip, the taper, which is this thinner part where it starts to thin. We've got the shaft, which is the consistent width all the way down. And then we've got the butt of the stick. So we've got tip, taper, shaft, butt. The second thing I'd like to tell you a little bit about is the numbers. The first thing is, as the number gets higher, we tend to have a thinner and a shorter stick. 3 of the most common kind of numbers used. So this is the 7, the 5, and the 3. What I've done is put them all, so the butts are lined up at the bottom. You can see here the tallest one I've got there is the 3. Then I've got the 5, and then I've got the 7. And you see they kind of go down in terms of length. It's harder to see, but basically, in the same way, the 7 is the thinnest, the 5 is the next thickest, and then the 3 is the most thick, okay? If you want kind of like a long stick that's, you know, gonna make a lot of noise, good for rock and metal, maybe go with a 3. If you want something that's more of a jazz kind of sound, like a light sound, lots of quick notes, that's maybe a 7. And then the kind of all-rounder, which I use the most, is the 5B, okay, the most common. So what do the letters mean? So a bit of history. The A stands for orchestra, so these were traditional sticks for orchestra. B stands for band. Easy to remember, B, band, A, oh hang on, orchestra, it's a bit weird. It just refers to the length of the stick and basically the application of the stick in traditional terms. So an A is going to be slightly shorter in length than a B, okay, and a B is going to be slightly thicker and slightly longer. The third thing I want to talk about is basically types of tip. The most common type of tip is a wooden tip, okay? So this is the one that we see the most. We've then got a nylon, which is there, which is basically just a plastic dipped tip, and it gives a completely different sound, particularly on the cymbals. And then finally, this is a bit of a mystery stick. So this is a metal stick, well, metal tipped stick. And I remember buying these about 8 years ago, just 1 pair, and I wish I'd bought more. Unfortunately, I'm down to my last one because one of them has broken. Which brings me on to my final tip. 3 ways you know it's time to retire that stick, okay? So, let me just find my slightly beaten up sticks. Here they are.
A few moments later.
So there's 3 places where there's most likely to be wear on your stick. The tip could split, the taper could snap, and then finally, the shaft, halfway down normally, we get this kind of wear, and that would split there. This tells you a little bit about your technique. Each stick you use, if you use it for its full lifetime, will tell you a story about your technique. Am I hitting the rim of the snare a lot? Am I starting to split at the taper, so where it starts to get thin? Am I going in harder on the hats? And how am I interacting particularly with kind of cymbals? And am I catching rims, which is where we'll get this split, the tips. If any of those start to really thin out and really start to kind of condense down, it's time to get some new sticks. Hopefully today you've had some ideas of maybe ordering some different sticks. Try a 3B and try to order a 7A at the same time and see whether you like them for different purposes. I hope that's been useful. Any questions below? Remember to subscribe and like this video if it's been useful. I'd love to hear from you guys. Stay well, and I'll speak to you soon.